ayahuasca and this thing called abalgine, which is a similar hallucinogen. Yeah. It's like something wild, like 95 to 98% success rate for hardcore heroin addicts. They had a Vice documentary about this where they would take somebody into the desert, give them an abalgine for an extended amount of time, make them confront all of their demons and everything that they have, their trauma that has led them to medicate with whatever drug they're choosing, and it has shattered that urge and that trauma, and they come out the other side sober.
How does it work for schizophrenia?
I assume it's bad. I mean, that's the thing. Is like people are like, you're so pro psychedelics, and you talk about it all the time. And I'm like, I wouldn't even recommend weed to everybody. I wouldn't recommend mushrooms, because if you're on that border, or if you're right there with like any mental illness, which I am, so probably I'm pretty lucky that it hasn't swung the opposite way. But like, it could set that switch. You know what I mean? It could light that wick where now you are bipolar.
Yeah. No, that happened to my bro.
Yeah.
Psychedelics really sent him over.
Yeah. I mean, that's why it's like you got to take precaution with everything you do and really look into it and ask yourself if you feel like you can take
DMT is fucking crazy.
DMT is wild, man. But it's one of those things where like it's unlike any other hallucinogen where you kind of learn your lessons for the weeks after. So it's such a fast process that you kind of come out of it and you're almost like Ashton Kutcher in Butterfly Effect. Like your nose bleeds, you're catching up to all your memories and all that stuff. And you're just like, what the fuck just happened? Yeah. And then over the next week, you're kind of like ruminating on it, and you attach purpose or meaning to certain things that you saw. Right. And it helps you kind of, process it.
Turbo therapy.
Yeah. A little bit. That?
Just therapy, but just much faster.
Oh, yeah.
Therapy, you just think about shit that you talked about, and then you're like, oh, fuck, maybe that was
maybe
that.
It was, yeah. Yeah, there's this, I felt this way about Burning Man. I probably spoke about it here, but like, I didn't realize the influence they would have every year. You start to like do things or operate a little different, and then you're like, oh, that's right. That's what I kind of picked up from that experience.
Right.
So I guess, and drugs were one of them. Like I tried Molly for the first time, and it was the first time that I felt like an excess of love.
Right.
Like I filled the hole and then went above the hole and had more. And then what I did with when I had more was just want to give to people. And it was like, oh, this is how like normally adjusted human beings feel. Like
I don't know if that exists.
Maybe not, but like, I thought about religious folks, right? And I've met like preachers and priests and that kind of stuff. And regardless if they're like putting it on or not, they're giving.
Sure.
Now, maybe they found a way to like really tap into that thing they believe and like fill that void that exists in all of us with that, and then have some excess, and with that excess give it away. Or maybe they're lying, doesn't matter, but it was the closest thing that I've experienced to that myself.
Yeah.
Where you're just around some guy like Carl Lentz. This guy Carl, like he never asked for anything. Always, hey, you want to come to a Nets game? Hey, how you doing, brother? How you? Everyone never asked for a single fucking thing.
Drew, Anita.
There's the woman who just retired, but she would work the desk at the iHeartMedia, and
she was the best.
She literally just a ball of fucking joy, constantly giving, constantly grateful, constantly crying, tears of joy and gratitude. Get her a coffee. Thank you so much. Like it was like she operates full.
Yeah, right.
And it's just one of those things where I would never know what that experience was had I not done drugs.
Yeah, you unlocked it.
Well, I unlocked it. Now, granted, we have a killer set on stage, and afterwards, you just want to like be nice to your girlfriend. Like that's how my girl knows I did well when I come home and I'm like nice to her.
Yeah, and
like,
you go down on her.
The dishes? Yeah.
She's like, wow, somebody killed.
Yeah, exactly. Like, she's rooting for me to do well just as much as anybody else. But there does exist that experience. So I think there is utility in drugs, because once you know it can happen. It's like when you take some kid who like grew up with like nothing, and then you show him the nice part of town.
Yeah.
Once they realize, oh shit, this is attainable.
Right.
Oh, I can get that. Then all of a sudden they can dream that big. So I think there is utility in drugs. I also think there is a cost to that utility. Totally. Some people get flipped.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I come from a repressed Irish Catholic household that was violent. Like, so and all of that stuff.
Like you got
like
beat
I
up?
got hit. Yeah,
Your
as a
dad
kid.
and mom fight?
No, they didn't fight each other. They fought me.
Both of them beat you?
Yeah.
How'd they beat you?
My dad closed fist. My mom
Face?
ring. Sometimes, yeah.
So you guys would square up? How does
No,
that
I
work?
mean I was just the victim for the most part. When my dad and I squared up,
Yeah.
he threw a punch at me when I was 19 and on steroids, and it was the biggest mistake of his life.
What happened?
Because so I came home. I went to 2 years of junior college to play basketball.
Yeah, Mike can hoop.
I used to be able to. Now I'm a broken down man. But that's what that's what the CBD is for. But yeah, so I had visited my girlfriend at the time at Syracuse, and I knew where I wanted to go to school because I went to junior college because my parents were like, hey, we lost a lot of money in the stock market. My dad was a stockbroker. It's like, if you do this 2 years, we'll pay for wherever you want to go, wherever you get in afterwards. So I was like, I wanted to go to Ithaca. It was near Syracuse, near the girl I was dating at the time, who I was under the delusion we were going to be with I was going to be with forever. Cool. I could play basketball there. It had my major, all this stuff. I came home from visiting and I'm like, Mom, Dad, I found it. I know where I want to go. And I said Ithaca, and my dad was like, my parents were in the middle of a divorce, all this turmoil. My grandpa died, my dog died, all my friends are dying, right? Yeah. And my dad's like, absolutely not, fucking SUNY. And I'm like, what? He's like, you can only go to SUNY. We're not paying for shit.
SUNY stands for State University of New York.
Right. Which I also got stuck with the bill anyway, so they didn't even pay for SUNY. Right. So my dad, he's just instantly frothing from the mouth, Irish rage, beat red face, and he's in my face just like SUNY motherfucker, and I'm yelling back because I'm 205 pounds of coursing testosterone through my body, and my dad is 6'2", 280. Like a big boy. Big motherfucker. And he's the smallest of his brothers, too. All his brothers are like 6'4", 6'5".
So he's thrown down with big guys, too. Yeah.
Big motherfuckers.
Okay.
So my dad, whatever, he gets mad, and he threw like almost a half-assed uppercut to my body, and I was T-1000 locked in, and I chopped down closed fist on his forearm. So dead forearm the shit out of him, and like a right fielder throwing to third, I crow hopped and punched him right in his fucking giant St. Bernard head, like his Irish melted head. And he's so big though, he took it square in the face and stumbled back for 4 feet, and then I ran away. And I went to Villanova to visit my friends, got arrested for underage drinking while I was there because I'd never drank in my entire life. I drank then I went to visit my buddies, and I was drinking like I trained for it. Yeah, I was smoking weed, all this stuff, was pissing in the backyard of this party.
Hold on, did you say you ran away?
Yeah, I ran away as a college man.
But you're 19. It's called being an adult. What do you mean? I ran away from home.
Did you actually physically run from the fight?
Yeah. I hit him. He stumbled back, and then I ran out of the house.
Life. He took one punch in the face, and then his kid ran away.
It was the biggest mistake of his life. How dare you? How dare you change the narrative of something I've created in my head?
Bro, he took one punch and he didn't have to pay for college. You know how many parents would take that bet? Are you kidding me? That's like Kobe paying the girl.
He didn't fall down. He stumbled a bit.
Stumbled back.
He fell. He broke his femur. It was a tough day for Kevin. So,
dude, he got the best deal.
Yeah. Yeah,
I mean,
he really
think
did.
about that.
He saved $80,000 for one punch.
You punched yourself. You put yourself in fucking debt. Dude, are you still paying that off?
Yeah, sure.
He's healed. Yeah. He's better. He's 100% okay. Really but every month you're paying fucking
Oh, man, this story used
Sally
to be a
Mae.
success story. You know? It's just a fucking brutal tale of failure.
It's like every time you do DMT, you rip apart his face, but not that fucking bill. That bill's coming every month.
Yo, he might have gained weight from 280, but your wallet damn sure lost weight. That shit is light. About 80,000 light.
Oh, dude.
This is such an upsetting revelation.
Now. Can we FaceTime him right now?
I haven't spoken to him in like 8 months.
Oh, really?
Yeah, he hasn't met my kid.
What?
Yeah.
Why? What happened?
Because we have a terrible relationship. We just after college.
You would think you would make up after you paid for your own college and you didn't have to take it. You think he
you'd
tells
think
that story to his
things.
friends like, my kid punched me in the face and it was the biggest mistake of his life.
I mean, this pussy was on steroids and he couldn't even knock me over.